Okay, hello. I am going to be, let's see. Yeah, so I've opened up the possibility for some people who are in a little streamer support group. That makes it sound like we have like issues that we need to hash out. Um, anyway, I made it so that they can drop by into the stream if they want. I don't know if anyone will be doing that, but they're all welcome to. um, Today we're gonna be making a little chicken. I've already made one. They look like this. Um, and actually, I'm gonna start with this one because I was throwing it around because they're supposed to be quote unquote juggling chickens, and I was seeing if it would work, and I was throwing it back and forth between my hands, and this little hole right here got ripped into it, so I gotta fix that. Um, yeah, so it's gonna be a pretty low key stream. Sewing is not the most high octane activity. I had some music going on in the background, but it was making, well, I think it was that anyway, but something was making everything lag just a whole lot. So I got rid of the music, which is unfortunate because um, it's pretty quiet, but that's okay. I got this tiny, like, little tiny emergency sewing kit, and that's where I keep my needle because I lose them if I don't have like a bright green little case for them. And it's also nice because it has like 3 pins just in case and that sort of thing. Yeah. No one said that they were going to be dropping by to visit, so. But I also don't know who saw my message and who didn't. I'm not really sure the best way to fix this little seam. Actually, I probably don't want to use the embroidery floss on that. I used embroidery floss to put it together in the first place, but it's all on the inside, all the embroidery floss. And on the outside, the one seam that I had to do on the outside, I just used, I guess I used white embroidery floss. I should probably use the white stuff. Maybe just like a thread to patch up this hole. I don't know if this is going to be long enough. We'll see. It should be fine. I think the worst part about sewing is tying knots in very short amounts of thread. Like when you're trying to finish it off or start it or whatever. I just hate tying tiny little knots. And I guess the pain of sewing, like in your shoulders. That's something that my mom always said, like, was hard for her. Like, if she ever had to hand sew something, her shoulders always got really sore. Which is interesting. I get that too, and I'm sure it's just like our posture. My posture right now is terrible. Here we go. I don't mind threading my needle if it works, which usually it works just fine. I have no idea if there's like a good angle for me to be sewing stuff at. Okay, so let's fix this little hole here. Note to self, sew a little bit further in than I did on this first try. So this way, first I can hide the first knot. It always surprises me how many people like don't know how to sew at all. Like I don't know how to sew well, but you know, I can sew enough to make this little chicken. Um, I even like adapted the instructions so that the most of the seams would be hidden, which they weren't in the original instructions that I found. Um, but like just basic stuff like threading a needle, knowing you have to like tie a knot at the end to prevent it from pulling through. Um, just the basic motion of going in and out, in and out. Like I don't really know any fancy stitches. I just can do running stitch and whatever it is where you just go around in a circle, loop de loop de loop. I can do a weird like embroidery stitch that I taught myself, but I'm sure it has a name. Yeah, I don't know. I think people just need to try more things. Just get the materials to do something in their hand, have a goal. Like, I'm gonna patch up this hole in my sock and go for it. And if they fail, then they learn what not to do. I don't know. Sewing is a really cool hobby, I feel like, because you get to make stuff, but it also doesn't take forever the way that knitting and crocheting does, I feel like. Because like sewing, all of the fabric has been made. Like you're good. You just need to put it together, which definitely takes time. And I don't have a sewing machine, so that definitely takes time. But I think it's, I've hand sewed a shirt, and I'm sure that took a lot less time than crocheting a shirt will take. Yeah, because I actually was able to do that in one night. And I'm really proud of how it turned out. Although there is, maybe I'll do this stream. The first time I washed the shirt, I should have hand washed it. I don't know what I was thinking. The first time I washed the shirt that I hand sewed, it got it got a hole in the armpit, and I just never re-sewed it. It's still just sitting in my closet waiting for me to decide today's the day. So I think if I finish my chickens early, I will see what I can do about that hole in the armpit. Okay, this chicken is almost done. Let me just do a couple more stitches on either side, just to make sure it's nice and not gonna come apart again. Because as much as I love sewing, I don't want to keep having to re-sew this, and I don't want it to explode into just a billion pieces of rice. I'm not for that. Let me re-thread my needle. It came undone. Come on. There we go. Let's just do a little knot here at the end. See, the tying the knot is just the worst part to me. My needle's too long. The tail is too short. Come on. Don't come on strong. We just need to go under one more time to really seal the deal. Okay. And through the hole. There we go. Nice. Look at that. No longer a hole right there. I think everything else should be nice and tight. Put this over here. And I'll get the scissors and snip that extra bit off. Hopefully it all holds. Little chicken. So, yeah, because juggling means dropping things on the ground a lot, over and over again. That's one thing I learned in the 10-minute YouTube tutorial I watched about juggling. Is juggling is not keeping stuff in the air, it's dropping stuff on the ground. This feels nice and good. This is so cute, right? I love it. I love chickens. Okay. I have this little caution sign on my Twitch stream manager and it's freaking me out. Views is going away April 14th. Huh. Okay. Interesting. Okay, that doesn't matter about anything. I felt like views was kind of helpful. I guess it's not accurate. It made me feel good. If it's not accurate in that it tells me too high of a number, then just keep it. I don't know. Okay. It's time to start a new chicken. It's incredible. So, I got another piece of fabric here. I can sew it just the way that we sewed the other one. This one seems to be more of a square already, which is good. So, let's see, was this the same size of the beak? No, this is too big. I think I cut one of these triangles in half. Here we go. Cut this in half. And then put it on the inside, over here. It can be sticking out a little bit. That's fine. And then I'm going to cut this in half. We'll make the comb out of it. Cut off a little bit for the gobble. Someone at work today was using fabric scissors to cut something that was not fabric, and I sort of yelled at him a little bit, and I feel kind of bad. But like when you see someone using fabric scissors on non-fabric, like you want to get them to stop as soon as possible. Um, I didn't mean to yell. I was just like, "What are you doing?" um, and everyone, he was like, "I just found him in here," and I was like, "Well, I didn't put him in here," and everyone was like, "Well, you were the last one to have them," and I'm like, "Well, I wouldn't have put them in here." It was in the staff room, All the scissors in there are just the worst scissors known to man. um, and it turns out that's something else not a lot of people know is like you should not be using fabric scissors for anything except for fabric. Um, those scissors will probably be fine. But I labeled them with fabric on them. And I found our other pair of fabric scissors. I think we're supposed to have 3, but I don't know where the third pair is. And I labeled both of the ones I could find because, yeah, I want people to know, don't use those. Which, I don't know. I guess I'm the only one at work who realized that all of the fabric scissors are orange, and no other scissors that we have except for like little kid scissors are orange. Even like the third pair of fabric scissors, they're mostly white, but they have like orange grips. Like these have these gray ones. I don't know how you're supposed to identify fabric scissors if you don't already know what they are. I feel like all fabric scissors should have something on them that designates them as such. These are fabric scissors, so I don't know why, and I've only ever used them for fabric. I don't know why the blades have like nicks in them. I bought them just last year. I guess they were in a box for a while, but they should have been, closed, and I don't know. Maybe something was like scraping up against the blades even though they were closed. Okay. And then this is going to go in here. Like that. And then let's make a little gobble out of this little piece here. How's everyone doing? I had a fun weekend. I don't really remember what I did, but I'm sure it was fun. Let's see, let's make sure that this gobble sits the way I want it to. I know yesterday I went to like a board game night thing and got to play 2 different games. One was Pizza Cat, Taco Cat, Goat Cheese Pizza. And then the second was Rook, which I taught people how to play. I had not played it in a long time, and I looked at the rules, and I'm like, these rules do not sound at all familiar. I'm just going to teach you how I remember how to play. So that's what I did. It was definitely a trick-taking game that I taught, and a trick-taking game in the rules, but all the rest of the rules seemed completely different. There was something about a nest. I read that and I was like, I have no idea what they're talking about. But it was fun to get to play Rook, which, my name is Rook. My chosen name, at least. Preferred name? I don't know. Sorry, I gotta lick the thread to get it to go through that eye of the needle. Because this is embroidery floss, so it's thick. Worst part of embroidery floss is dealing with like the needle. I love using it for sewing. I like how nice and thick it is. But gosh, getting every strand through the eye and not having the whole thing unravel is not my idea of a good time. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, but it's fun to play games that you named yourself after in a way. I don't really name myself after the game, but close enough. I knew about the game when I picked my name. It was just like a bonus. Okay, are you gonna behave? I mean, look how ugly this is. I don't know if you can see that, but like, look at how all the strings just came apart after I threaded the needle. Oh, it's because this one's not in. Actually, two of them. No, one of them is not in the eye. Can I get it to go? Oh my gosh, this is so frustrating. Just peeling the string apart. Maybe the other end will be better. I doubt it. Okay. I'm excited because coming up soon, I'm going to get a package that is a kit for making your own like medieval turn shoes. And I'm going to get some fancy, I'm going to call it leather, but it's not real leather. Pleather. It's going to be like sparkly shiny purple and sparkly shiny blue. It's going to match the jester's outfit that I bought. That's going to be like handmade just for me. Customized. There we go. It's going to be purple and turquoise. And I'm so excited. I bought it because my work is doing like a Ren Fair thing. Okay, I just got one. I also don't have a needle threader because mine broke. So we die like men. We're doing a Ren Fair at work and I'm so hyped for it. And I've also just been looking for an excuse to get like a clown costume basically. Because I'm a weirdo who likes clowns. Okay. There we go. Got that embroidery floss going. Now both ends are severely frayed. I think this end is worse though. So I'll tie this one off. And then we'll get going. It's called blanket stitching when you like go around in a loop. Could be. Just think, before the sewing machine, like well, I don't know, I bet there were other ways that they found to like keep clothes together, but I mean, I assume basically all clothes had to be, done this way, which like, woof. Just this tiny little square, which is like not even enough to cover my hand, takes forever. Okay. We're gonna start down in this little corner down here, and I'm gonna go in like half an inch just to make sure that my issue with that chicken doesn't happen again. And here we go. I think I'm gonna put these in where they're supposed to go when I get to them. But until then, they're just gonna get in my way. Yeah, so making these juggling chickens is part, well, I don't know. It wasn't originally, but the reason why I'm making a second one, it's part of me committing to myself to learn how to juggle. Because I've kind of always wanted to learn how to juggle, but it's always been a thing where I like try once or twice to do it and then I just give up. But I've always known that if I want to learn how to do it for real, like I need to invest time and effort into doing it, and I've just never been able to find adequate time and effort to trying. But you know, buying this jester costume is like a big purchase for me. And it's one of those things that it's like, okay, well, if I do this, I'm going to have to like make it up to myself in some ways. So learning how to juggle is one of those ways. And making my own shoes instead of like buying some more expensive shoes is another thing. But also like making my own shoes is like a cool experience. I definitely don't have the resources, no sewing machine, to make my own costume. And I'm sure the shoes would be a lot easier if I did have a sewing machine. I might see if I can borrow one from like someone who has one who doesn't really need it right now. I'm pretty positive I could find people like that pretty easily. But yeah, so I might borrow a sewing machine, but I'm gonna get it and look at it first and just see how much sewing it would involve. Because, I mean, I feel like hand sewing, something that's supposed to be like, you know, medieval, accurate to medieval times, is like, I don't know, would be kind of cool. Because then I could really feel like it was medieval times, except for I'll be using shiny, sparkly purple and blue leather, which I am positive they didn't have back then, but, you know, it's fine. I just think it'll look cool with the whole jester outfit. Especially since it'll match in color. Okay, I'm making sure that this is all lined up. I guess I could have used a pin to hold the other, you know, the felt pieces to where they were supposed to be. I just kind of hate using pins, and maybe part of that is just coming from using a sewing machine and hating like having to pull them out as I sew, which I understand how important they are, but like, what a pain, you know? What a drag. Just let me sew. I wonder if what I'm doing is technically embroidering. I don't think it is. I think embroidering is just like for decoration and not for like structure. And these stitches that I'm doing are not going to be seen. But I am using embroidery floss, and I am using the little stitch that I taught myself how to make like a solid line, just because you know, it's not solid on this side, but I feel like this is one of the most, at least sturdy, stitches that I know how to do I feel like just a running stitch is a little bit like it would let the rice through, maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I should just be doing a running stitch but make them really small. Well, this is how I'm doing it. My project, my choice. And I feel like the first chicken I made turned out to be really nice. Maybe I should put this like on screen so people know what I'm making. Where's like a nice... Here, we don't need the mouse. Nice out of the way, but still in screen. Yeah, when I was like 12 or something, I don't remember why. Maybe it was because I read Dragon Slippers and she likes to embroider, but I feel like that's not why I got into it. I feel like I got into it before I read Dragon Slippers, and then I read it and I was like, hey, I like to embroider too. Anyway, when I was like 12 or something like that, I just wanted to embroider for some reason. So my mom got me some like embroidery floss and a little bit of fabric, and I just went to town. And then at some point I was like, I'm tired of doing this a little bit. I'm just going to take a little break. And then I just never really picked it back up again. Until like, I don't know, last year maybe. I wouldn't say that what I'm doing is embroidering. I'm just hand sewing. But yeah, it's weird how like we go through phases of really wanting to do certain crafts or something. Oh, I think phases in life are kind of cool. I'm definitely in my clown phase. My battery's running low, but it should be plugged in. It got unplugged. Okay, don't die on me, computer. Don't die on me, I said. There, is that good enough? Okay. Hopefully, man, my computer at some point just stopped showing the battery icon on its, down in the bottom of its screen, which I don't know why. I definitely didn't turn that off ever because I look at that all the time. And one day it just disappeared and I don't know how to get it back, which is too bad because that's how I know if I actually got plugged in or not, or how much time I have left when I'm not plugged in. That explains why the screen looked a little dim, but it was apparently at full brightness. There we go. Making sure we're still lined up on the edges here. Yep, we're still good. It is kind of fun to just embroider stuff. I guess I did get a little bit into embroidery at some point. I embroidered a pair of gloves for my mom that said cold hands, warm heart. And I embroidered like a hat. I don't remember. I think I had plans to embroider a hat for my best friend, but I'm not sure if I ever did it. Gosh, now I gotta. How do you ask someone, hey, did I ever give you that gift that I was planning to give you? Oh, I didn't? Well, oops. Sorry. I meant to give you that. And then I never did it. you just ask like, "Hey, did I ever make you a hat?" And if they say no, you're like, "I think it was just a dream. I just remembered it the other day, but then I couldn't remember if it was real or not." I definitely remember asking her some like leading questions because I wasn't sure what to put on the hat. Um, I definitely made like embroidered. Oh, you know what? I don't think I did it because I embroidered one hat for myself, and it just says heck and has like a asterisk for the e. um, and then I think I was planning on making her another hat, but then I guess maybe I came up with a better gift, or maybe the gift giving time passed. So I just had a hat to do something with, and I think I just made a little salamander, which I still have that hat. Um, hmm. This was only like a year or two ago. You'd think I would remember. Maybe it was like 3 years ago, though. I mean, time kind of stopped working with the pandemic. Um, hmm. Look at this nice straight line. I mean, that's pretty good for not having like an embroidery hoop or anything like that. I'm sure someone who actually was good at this sort of stuff would disagree with my believing it's good, but it works for my purposes. Man, I love chickens. I need to actually edit or like get on the ball for the chicken zine that me and my friend run. We're supposed to be doing like a rolling basis, like submission period, but I'm pretty sure we have enough submissions, or we had enough like a couple months ago at least. I'm assuming, I honestly haven't even checked, and I think we do though. Um, and we just need to actually sit down, collaborate, find a time, and go through it all and do all the work for it. Um, it's been so fun. It's just like a little bit tricky because not only is it hard to keep up motivation. I mean, okay, this is the double-edged sort of like creativity. It's hard to keep up motivation, but if you get someone else to help you with it, like help you stay motivated, um, then it's easier to be motivated. However, the double edged sword of that is that then you have to coordinate times with the other person. And if you're both unmotivated, then you're both like, it's worse than if you are just unmotivated by yourself to do a project that you yourself are the only one who knows about or cares about or whatever. Um, but if you're both unmotivated and sort of you're just both sort of avoiding the topic, I don't know, it just feels awkward. The thing is, I want to do it. It's just, those little blocks in your brain that, like, say, yeah, but do you really want to actually do it for real, for sure, for sure? See, look how slow this is. I have gotten maybe let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1/6 of the way done ish. I still have to do the like eyes too, and the like the the back that's tail. Oh no, that's this. Um, 1/6 of the way done, and I've been streaming for only about half of my streaming time, my usual streaming time. So, yeah, sewing takes forever. Hand sewing, at least. Okay, let's get this beak and gobble going. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Oh my gosh, please. Just work. Just work for once. Okay. All of a sudden, I have the duck song stuck in my head, and I don't know why. Oh, I guess he waddled away, and I was thinking about waddles. That's why. Okay. Hopefully, this will work. Okay, what is the best way to hold these and sew at the same time? I'm not sure I gave myself enough thread. I thought I did, but I guess I didn't. I'll have to remedy that at some point, probably. Okay, then come back through. There we go. Gosh, the duck song is one of those songs that really just sticks in my head once it's there. I gotta like think of any other song. Is there like a song about chickens? Maybe there's the chicken dance. Okay, this beak has migrated north. And that is not okay. Sir, you need to come back down. Sir, I will not have you migrating north for the winter. Okay. Pull that. And then here. Sorry. I don't know the best way to do this so that the cameras can see. Although I'm not sure if it's like something people would even want to see necessarily. Okay. Something they would care to see. What else can I talk about? This is why I invited people, because truly there is not much to say. I am sewing in a straight line. Nothing is changing. And I need to fill this space with my thoughts. I mean, my thoughts are just how cool it'll be to like be a jester. I need to see if there's like an actual for real Ren fair in my area. My boss says that there is, but I don't know if I'll be able to go to it because I work like on all the days when there would be activities. The only day off that I could go to something potentially is like on a Monday. But but people don't usually do stuff on Mondays. Like, there's a whole bunch of shops around me, in my tiny itty bitty town, that I'd love to visit, but they're closed on Mondays, so I can't visit them. I mean, I could get up early to go look at them, but like, I'm not gonna get up early. I'm a night owl. I stay up late, but they're closed by the time I get off work. It's a real dilemma. Maybe this Saturday though, because I'm actually gonna be helping put eggs out for the city egg hunt. And so I have to be at the park where they're doing that at 7:30 in the morning. But I volunteered for that because I'd rather do that than like deal with actual kids. Because the kids will get there later. I'm just there to hide the eggs. Yeah, so I'd rather do that than deal with the children. Because as much as I like kids in concept, being around them stresses me out a lot. I love them, but I don't really want them around me very much. Which is why I am the teen and adult librarian, programming librarian, and my coworker is the one for kids. Which today I realized that one of the programs that I'm doing is aimed specifically at kids and tweens, which is the area that my coworker does, but I'm doing it for some reason, and I don't know why, but it's fine, I guess. Okay, so we're almost done with this side of the chicken. Oh, I guess I forgot that we fixed this other chicken first. So the time indication that I did earlier was not actually very accurate. I don't know how long fixing that chicken took though, so I can't do very much estimation, but I've now finished another sixth and it's only been like, I don't know, 10 minutes. So we should have this completely done by the time the stream ends, I think. I hope. I don't want to have to finish this off stream. I feel like that would suck. Come on. Should I stop this thread here and get something longer? I mean, I can't even finish this side here, even if it was just a running stitch. Well, maybe if it was just a running stitch I could. Then I'd have a really kind of abysmal time tying a knot at the end. I think I'm just gonna tie the knot now while I have plenty of string left, and start. Actually, no. Let's get a little bit over into the next stitching area so that everything holds together well and no rice falls out or anything like that. Okay. Let's see, make sure everything's lined up correctly. We can just do like a little running stitch here. go back a little bit just to make sure this whole corner is ship shape and Bristol fashion. Ship shape and Bristol fashion. Is that the phrase? I think it is. I read about the origin of that phrase at some point, but I don't remember anything about it, so I don't know why I brought it up. This should be good, I think. Okay, so now once I get this needle through, let's tie a knot, get some more thread, or floss, as the case may be. There we go. That's not going anywhere. Okay. Yeah, that would have been miserable to work with any longer. Because then tying a knot would have really sucked. Okay, that should be more than enough. Sometimes you think it's going to be more than enough, and then it isn't. Forgot I was going to have to thread a needle again with this terrible floss. Okay, come on, just go through the first time. Just hold together. Act like you love each other. Like you'll never let each other go. Just go through the freaking needle. Be serious. Okay, I got it. Good job, everybody. We did it. Okay. Tie a knot. Come on. Cannot. I wonder why not has a K in front of it. Do you think they used to pronounce the K? Or did it come from something else? I have to imagine it's like Germanic. Yeah, like German has stuff like that, like silent K's. So it must be Germanic. Okay, got some ugly knots right there, which is fine because this is going to be on the inside. I honestly can't imagine making this so that all this stuff is not on the inside of the chicken. Like, it's so nice to not have huge, like, seams. Although, I guess, I don't know, whatever. Maybe it wouldn't be too bad, but I don't like it. Okay, let's get this comb in there. Do you think the comb was named after, you know, the comb for your hair was invented? Or was the comb for your hair invented and named after the chicken's comb? Things to think about. Sorry, I do the thing where you stick your needle in your mouth a lot, especially when I'm not trying to talk at the same time. I think it just proves that humans should have been created with three hands. Two for like manipulating stuff, and one for like holding stuff while you manipulate other stuff. My phone just buzzed, but it's currently being used as the webcam. Hopefully, it's nothing important. I usually don't get like buzz notifications, like vibration, so that probably means it's a text. Who could be texting me at this time on this day? Oh, it's probably just my mom with the daily Wordle, honestly. um, Shout out to her. Uh, she's like texted me every day, which is great. I'm the one who showed her the Wordle, and I was like, let's send each other our scores, and then I don't send her my scores anymore, and I feel like a terrible child. I still do it every day. It's just like I do it at midnight, and I don't think my mom would like appreciate a text at midnight every night. The times when she sends them to me are like, I swear, like almost completely random. Which, more power to her. Love to accidentally stab myself while I sew. Is it really like a sewing project if you didn't get just like a little bit of blood on it? I can't imagine using a thimble though, because like, how do you feel what you're doing, I use my thumb for feeling all the time. Gosh, just go right there. Okay. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I feel like there have been times when when I've had to like push on a needle's back really hard to get it to go through, and like, it's not sharp per se back there, but it still kind of hurts. It's still kind of sticking into my thumb. I bet in a situation like that, a thimble would really come in handy. But like just for like using as protection from the sharp end, I don't know. I don't think it would really help me that much. I don't know. I probably don't know what I'm talking about because I'm not like a sewer. It's really cool knowing people who like are a sewer though, because then you can ask them questions. Like with my shoes that I'm making, they come with soles, and I bought the quote unquote leather, but the I'll need soles for them, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna need to like get the special like insoles like Dr. Scholl's or whatever to make it at all comfortable. But I asked my coworker who, used to work at like a fabric store and knows a ton of stuff about sewing and stuff. And I asked her if I could just, steal the soles from just a regular pair of shoes, and she's like, "Oh, absolutely." And she said it like it was the most, simple thing in the world, which, it probably is. I thought of it, so like probably is extremely simple. Um, but it was helpful just having her there so I could ask instead of second guessing myself and deciding to buy something anyway. My mom said when I told her that I had purchased that jester costume, um, which when I told her I was like, it cost a lot of money, and she's like, oh, like it's not this one that was like $100 cheaper than mine. It's not that one, is it? And I'm like, well, actually. And she's like, it cost even more. Anyway, it was expensive, but I thought about it for a long time. So, and I have had no like buyer's remorse, at least yet. Maybe I will like when I see it, but I don't think I will. Um. Anyway, she said you should have just asked your Aunt Anne to 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 make you a costume, which like that is a good idea. But actually, like my aunt, she's a great sewer. Like she's way better than me, if that's for darn sure. But like I've seen some of the stuff that she sews, and like while it's good, I don't think it's that good. um, sorry, aunt, if you ever hear this, which you really shouldn't, but just in case. I really appreciated the things that you sewed for me. They were really cool. But I also didn't want to just put that on your plate either, because that's kind of a lot. And I don't know. I definitely would want to pay you for your time, and I think I would probably, if you made something to the caliber of what I am purchasing, I would want to pay you the same price for that because that's only fair. I don't know. I don't know when she would ever hear this, but it's one of those things that like gets back to you. You say something bad. I mean, I don't really think this is bad, but say something bad about someone once, and you think they're never ever gonna hear it, but at some point they do, and then you put your foot in your mouth and swear to never speak again. Okay. It's going well. We're making progress. We're gonna stop when we get to this corner over here, because that's when we put in the eyes, and then or turn it inside out, put in the eyes, fill it with a little bit of stuffing and some rice, um, and then we sew the bottom shut. So we have a nice little pyramid. Okie dokie. We're making good time. I am excited to watch the my favorite manga is Spy Family, with like the little like Hunter X between Spy and Family. I've never understood why you're not supposed to pronounce the X, but okay. Um, but it's such a good manga, and the first episode of the anime just came out recently, which I don't know when it came out, but I was like doing anime club for work, and the first thing on Crunchyroll that came up was Spy Family, and I was like, and it was like watch now, and I'm like, what? It's out? I knew it was coming out soon, but I guess I didn't realize it was coming out so soon. So I'm really excited to watch that. And then I also heard that another anime or manga that I've been reading, Blue Period, has an anime, which I didn't realize it had an anime. So I'm gonna try watching that. That anime is, that manga is really interesting. Um, it like has some characters that I like am super into, but like I don't know, the story is like just very educational, which is fine. I think that's interesting, but also I'm like, but tell me more about the characters. I want to know more about all of them, like all of these side characters. Ouch. I don't know why it gets so hard up here. Um, I mean the manga is like very sort of realistic in that like like you meet these cool people like in your class at school or whatever, and then you like go your separate ways and you never really hear from them again, and you don't if you didn't actively spend a lot of time with them, you don't really get to know what their whole deal is, and um which is realistic, but it makes me kind of sad because like I am so interested in some of the side characters, and then the main character is just like, I'm gonna be a lone wolf. I mean, he's not that bad. I make him sound a lot worse than he is, but like he's not interested in the characters that I'm interested in. And he actively sort of like uh chooses not to spend time with them. And I'm just like, but they're so interesting and I want to know more. There's a dude in that manga that just like gives me so much like gender. He just wears like these big earrings and he like has like kind of antagonistic ish qualities, and but he's like not I don't know how to he's not an antagonist really. He's just kind of weird ish. Oh gosh, he's so hard to explain, which is why he's so interesting. Um it's clear that the protagonist doesn't really like him, but there's not I mean, he's also kind of like a little bit full of himself, which is understandable why the main character doesn't like him. And I don't usually like characters that are super full of themselves, but this guy is interesting. um, and he like seems to have some kind of like interest in the main character, but the main character just like is like, I don't really want to talk to you. Bye. I just want to know what his deal is. I feel like we've even gotten a couple scenes that are like just from his or like his roommate's perspective, that I feel like were the story people trying to tell us what his deal is, but I still don't get it. Anyway, the whole the whole manga is just full of really interesting characters though. And to be fair, some of the most interesting ones we do like actually follow up on, um, and learn more about and spend a lot of time with, but it's never enough time. We spend so much time talking about art, which I get it. It's, I think the main goal of the manga is to be sort of educational about art education, I guess. But like, I don't know. Part of me also feels like I already know most of what they talk about, and the stuff that I don't know about, I don't really care that much about. hmm. That's probably just coming from, a place of educational privilege, though. But it's really helpful for kids who didn't have, like, a super great art program. And it is interesting to learn about the differences in Japanese art education versus American. But also, that's like information that I'll probably never need to use ever. But, education, learning for learning's sake, it's worth it just to know things. Hmm. I also want to watch the anime of another manga that I read back in fall. I mean, it's still like ongoing, but I read all of the current uh, chapters or edition, no, volumes, that's the word. Read all the current volumes. Um, I mean, I read all the current volumes for Blue Period and Spy Family too, but I didn't know about their mangas or or animes, but their animes weren't out yet. Um, but I did know about the anime for is something Perks of Being a Bookworm or no Ascendance of a Bookworm. Sorry, we were talking about Perks of Being a Wallflower today. Um, at work, so that's where I got that from. I watched a couple episodes of Ascendance of a Bookworm, but it was really true to the manga. I felt like, and I didn't have good internet back then, so like I had to watch those episodes at the library that I don't work at during my time off, and that was just kind of annoying because I was just in a uncomfortable chair, um, and I couldn't like relax. That is one thing about that other library. It's the closest library to us. It's only like 10 minutes away. Um, it's pretty new and it has a lot of nice stuff. And it has like an actual study rooms and like a conference room. And it feels new and nice. But it doesn't have like any comfortable chairs, and I don't think it has like a teen area. Um, yeah, no, it doesn't, which is a shame. Our library has like a dedicated like teen area. It's not super duper private, but like teens can at least feel like they have a space. And then that teen area has comfortable chairs. So like even though it's not always just teens in there, like anyone who needs like a comfortable chair to like do work on can go sit in there. Um, Yay! So I finished this one. Gonna tie it off. Have plenty of string to do a knot with, which always makes me happy. Um, and then we're gonna get the eyes on here, and then we're gonna fill it. It's gonna be good. We still have 45 minutes left, so I think we're gonna be good on time. As long as these eyes don't take forever. Which, like, hopefully they shouldn't. Okay. That should hold. I think all of this is far enough from the edge that I won't have a similar issue as what happened with this one. Okay, let's trim this. All right. Now we turn it inside out. And chicken is emerging from its little slumber for being inside out. Yeah, I guess I'm turning it outside in. No, outside out. there, there it is. Look at our little chicken pal. Just a little square chicken. I'm gonna fold this back in. I'm gonna cuff. You gotta cuff your chicken just to make the eyes a little easier. There we go. Now I can reach the eye area just that much easier. And then I have some dark felt over here that I can cut a little circle out of. Two little eyes. I kind of wanted to make them with little buttons, but I didn't have any little buttons. So, felt it is. Alright. Here's one. And then here's two. Yay, approximately the same size. Love to see it. Okay, then we get some black thread. This originally was embroidery floss, but I just separated it into the thread. Man, it's always so cold in this room. It's gonna be hot in the summer. But right now it's chilly, and I even turned up the heater in my room higher than I usually put it, and I'm still cold. Okay. This is way more thread than I need. Oh yeah, now it's time to tie the tiny knot. I hate tying tiny knots. It's the worst, especially tiny double knots. Because they never seem to like actually line up. So I have to tie like 4 of them before I get a double knot. But not this time. That time it worked out. Okay. Let's make the tail shorter than the thread. And then let's stick on an eye. Actually, I think I'm going to trim this one just a little bit so that it's more actually circular instead of ovular. There, that looks good. Stick that right on the chicken. I'll make this cuff a little bit bigger, I think. Okay, that's about as big of a cuff as I can do for this chicken. Okay. Last time I accidentally sort of sewed the 2 sides of the face together just with 1 stitch, which was really annoying. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen again. because I had to undo some stitches. Okay, right there. Stick it to the man or the chicken. Huh. There we go. Yeah, that was not ideal. Okay. Gotta focus. I need absolute silence. Hey, you, shut up. Okay. Careful, careful. I am using black thread over brown felt, which I don't love, but it's what I have. Hopefully no one will be taking too close of a look at this. I'm super excited because I have some juggling balls that I actually purchased. But I'm excited because even with just two, I can start like practicing. Because part of practicing juggling is just doing it with two, which I really struggled. I tried to do it with socks, and the thing about it is socks are way too light. And you know, the video that I watched that was a little juggling tutorial said like how hacky sacks even are too light. I was like, why does the weight really matter that much? And then I was trying it with socks, and I was like, this is so hard. And then I was throwing just, I was throwing the socks just like, even just one, I was throwing it, and I was like, this is kind of tricky. And then I got this chicken, and I was throwing it, and I was like, oh, I get it. Yeah, those socks are way too light. So the heaviness of juggling balls really does matter, because if you don't have that weight to it, it's just kind of tricky. I forgot where I was going with this. Oh yeah, two. So yeah, I was trying it with socks, and it was really hard, and I think it'll be even really hard with just two, even with something that has a better weight to it. So I'm excited. I have the supplies to make a third chicken, but I'm hoping that my juggling balls will come soon enough so that I won't have to make a third chicken to practice with. I think just two will be good. And so to practice juggling with just two chickens, you just are trying to get that timing right. You go toss, toss, catch, catch. Toss, toss, catch, catch. I don't know. I'm just really excited. Got a nice like star pattern for the eye. Wow, you really can't see that, huh? It looks good, trust me. I debated on this other chicken, like using maybe like white thread for the eye, just to like give it like sort of a highlight, like the little shinies in your eye. But then I decided not to do that. So I don't think this one's gonna have it either. These are some very good like classic chicken colors. The white, just the plain white fabric with the red and the yellow felt for the beak and the comb and the wattle. white was just so happened to be the fabric that we had, and it was perfect for chickens. And we didn't really have any other fabric. We did have other colors of felt, but yep. I might have hesitated to give people other colors of felt for the wattle and the beak and the stuff. I actually gave most people orange because we only had like one little square of yellow, and I took that from myself. I'm allowed to do grab and goes too. I'm actually using a lot of my own materials for this. Like I'm using my own thread and my own rice and my own stuffing. But we had way more white fabric that I cut. I thought I got the right number for our grab and go kits, but we had way more than I thought we did. Like that I thought I cut. I must have miscounted by like a severe amount. We had a ton of that left, so I didn't feel too bad taking that. And then I took about this much felt, so which is about how much I gave each kit for a grab and go. So I took enough materials for one person, which is what I am. Okay, so we're tying off the eye. And we're going to cut that and sew on the other eye. There we go. The eye is on there. It's got his eye on you. There we go. And then we stick the other eye in the same place. Gotta make sure that they match. There we go. Oh, I forgot to gotta tie another knot. My least favorite thing. Okay. Let's tie that knot, baby. Okay. Bam. And then double knotting time. Pray for me. Okay, just put down the needle. It's making things harder. First knot ended up so close to the end of the string, which I don't know why I did it that way. I just make my own life harder when I do that. Okay, got it. Okay, let's get this eye on there. I feel like filling is the fun part. Although, when I made the first chicken, I was doing it in my bed. And I spilled rice absolutely frickin' everywhere. I do sometimes think about just leaving it as the little X. I do for when I'm putting on these eyes, I do one stitch across and then I do a second stitch across, and it just has a little X for a little while. It looks really cute, but it's not very secure. But it sort of gives button vibes. I guess I could just go back and forth on the X, sort of like a button. I didn't really consider that. Well, yeah, that's something to think about if I try this again and use like white thread. If I use just black thread like I'm doing, that is such a tiny detail that it really doesn't matter. And it's completely not seeable unless you're really looking. But if I use white, it would be visible. Okay, I'm not sewing these together again, am I? No, I'm not. Wait. No, I'm not. Okay. It was like connected by some little thread that didn't matter. One thing I don't, I really like watching anime. I like it a lot more than most other TV shows, like just in general, and also like I'm able to like watch it. I don't have like Netflix, so like, but I can get Crunchyroll on my browser, and I have an ad blocker, so the ads aren't at all annoying for me. Um, but it's really hard because I generally like to like to watch the subbed versions. So it's hard for me to like sew, for example, and watch anime at the same time. So I actually don't get to watch as much as I would like to because I'm always wanting to do something creative. Like this. Or I've been working on a little piece of fan art for actual play Pokemon TTRPG podcast that I've been really enjoying called Critical Ditto. Check it out, it's really good. But I have been that was something I was doing last night, pretty late into the night. I was like kind of hoping I would finish it before I went to bed, but I just straight up did not. um yeah, but I want to finish that like tonight, but like also I want to watch that anime that I mentioned. I also really need to like do my dishes and some laundry. So and I need to catch up on NaPoWriMo too. There's just so many things like competing for my attention. So it's just kind of tricky. I really wish I could just like pause time, do all the things that I want to do, unpause time when I want to, time to move forward, to interact with people, that sort of thing. But just pause time when I want to like watch TV or work on creative stuff or read a book or do my dishes, any of that stuff. Or to just take a nap. I would not want like a time travel superpower because I do not want to deal with the headache of time travel. I don't want to go forward in time. I don't want to go back in time. But I would like to pause time sometimes. And I could still be like a superhero. Like if something crazy terrible is happening, like it's basically having super speed, kind of. Except for super speed means you have to like exert a lot of effort. I feel like. And I don't really want to do that. Okay, we stuffed the stuffing in the chicken. I don't know the easiest way to get rice in here. I just kind of poured it in last time, which is how I spilled everywhere. And I'm probably going to spill again this time. Oh my gosh. Please. Don't want to spill all the rice again. Do I just like pick it up with my fingers? Is that the smartest idea? And it feels slow. If I just got up and got a spoon, that would probably make this a lot easier, but I don't really want to get up. you go, chicken. Little bits of rice to fill your little belly. Just a little rice chicken. Oh no. I really don't want to pick up a bunch of rice. Okay. Gotta get that nice weighty juggling bag feel. Oh my gosh, I'm just spilling it everywhere. Okay, I'll pick it up after I'm done because I'll just keep spilling it. And it's easier to pick up after you're all finished. Okay, come on. Earbuds coming out. Just have a little bit left. Come on. Into the chicken. Spilling onto my lap. Rice really has no sense of personal boundaries. Okay. Get in there. Okay, and then I'm gonna fold both of these sides over so you have a nice finished edge. There we go. Should have prepared my thread first. Are you gonna stay like that? I swear, if this thing falls over, I will be so sad. Okay, I got some embroidery floss. Should be enough. Let's sew this baby shut. Okay. Just checking what I did with this other one. Looks like I put like the thick line on the bottom. I detest threading embroidery floss. This is so hard. And for what? Come on. I should really just get myself another needle threader. Why would I make my life easier? What's the point in doing that, huh? Everything's gotta be a challenge all the time. Okay. Could also do like a blanket stitch if that's what it is indeed called. But I think I'm just gonna stick to my tried and true stitch. Gosh, come on, pull through. And then we just have this last one to go, and then it is complete. This last little row of stitches. And then I'll be able to master juggling. And go watch anime or whatever. Whatever I'm doing tonight. I wonder if they have dubs of the animes that I'm interested in. I also like to watch with subs because it helps me to actually focus on the art. Because, like, art in animation is so cool, and if I'm not actually, like, looking at the screen, then I miss it. And then, like, what's the point of that? I'll do that with no qualms at all for live action shows and movies. Because although, you know, sometimes they have cool artistic cinematography, most of the time it's not that cool or artistic or interesting. So I feel like I can tell most of what's going on pretty good with just the sound and looking up every now and then. That's why I listen to so many podcasts and audiobooks. Is because I like do so much with my hands all the time and with my eyeballs. If it was just my hands, I could watch anime, but I don't want to stab myself with a needle, so I gotta be looking down at what I'm doing. That's part of a reason I've considered recently getting into like crochet or knitting or something, because I feel like a lot of people who can do it without looking at what they're doing very much, and so they could just watch a show and pay attention mostly to the show while their hands just do the work. But I think I would have to be pretty deep into those to get to that point, and I don't know. I don't think I would get there as quickly as I would want to. I don't know how people who have like kids or someone that they have to like spend time with, because like all relationships take, you know, effort and time. I don't know how people like that like are able to function. I mean, I guess the other people can help with chores and stuff, so maybe that's how. And then the time that you can spend together can be that like fun time. I guess that's how it works. It probably about equals out in the end. Because any time they save by having someone else around to do chores, there's probably unfun stuff that needs to be done. I don't know if that made any sense. It made sense in my brain. Okay. But especially for people who have like little kids and they don't have someone else who can sort of help raise the kid and do chores, I don't know how they're able to function, honestly, because the kid can't do chores. You gotta care for the kid, do twice the number of chores because everything gets twice as dirty, or even 3 times probably because it's a kid. And then you have to still do all the normal stuff. Like, I feel like I'm drowning sometimes just in all of the stuff that I have to do all the time. Like, I'll cook dinner and feel really good about myself and have a delicious dinner, and then there's dishes to do afterwards, and I'm just too tired to do them. Like, I already spent a lot of energy at work, first of all, and then second of all, like, making food. And then most nights now I have another obligation that happens basically directly after work. Um, like on Tuesdays, I've committed to myself that I want to stream, which is what this is, what I'm doing right now. And then on Wednesdays, every other Wednesday, at least, I have a creative writing group that I meet with. And then now every Thursday, I have another creative writing group. One's for like novels and one's for like poetry, which I love having that. And then Fridays are kind of open. Saturdays, occasionally, like once a month for work, I actually have to stay till 10 p.m. on Saturday. That was this last week. So I didn't really have Saturday to like do stuff with, really. Like, I could have done stuff in the morning, but I don't know, something about, I'm just like a night owl. It's hard for me to accomplish stuff in the morning before I like go off to do, when I was in school, like, I couldn't do stuff before school. I could only, in my brain, get myself to do stuff after school, or after my last class of the day. So when I had evening classes, I felt like I could never get anything done. That didn't stop me from taking evening classes, though. It just meant that, like, I stayed up later than most people, which I still do. I don't know. I've always, I've never really been able to force myself to get up earlier than I had to. And maybe part of that was in high school. Like, I had to get up really early to do stuff. I had to get up at like 5 a.m. And so any day I got to sleep in felt so nice. Because I was so tired all the time in high school. I don't know how I did it. I did not get enough sleep. These days I get enough sleep. But yeah, maybe part of it was just like I hated getting up so early because I blamed getting up so early on not getting enough sleep. And so now I never want to get up early if I don't have to, which means that I have to stay up late if I'm gonna, like, accomplish stuff. I could go to bed early, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna get up any earlier. Unless I have to, which, again, I'm hiding Easter eggs. That's 7:30 on Saturday. But that's fine. It's a commitment. I have to. It's for work. So I'll be able to do it. And it'll be fine. Oh my gosh. I cannot get this needle through here. Hold on. Nope, that didn't work. Okay, maybe if I like adjust the thread. What are you supposed to do when you're just trying to pull the needle out and it will not come through and your hand's just sliding right off of it? I feel like I need like rubber finger grips, but I don't have anything like that. I have some plastic. I don't think this is gonna do anything. Nope, that made it worse. I did it. Okay. Shouldn't have that again, because that was right on the seam. So it shouldn't be an issue again, at least to that extent. I also have a ton of manga books that I have been just renewing because I haven't read them yet. They're Black Butler. I read the first 1.5 volumes. I think maybe part of it is it just hasn't grabbed me yet. But I feel like it has the possibility to get really interesting and good. And I just need to keep reading. But I have like, I don't know, like 30 volumes that just checked out sitting in my bedroom, taunting me. I've had them for like 3 months and I'm approaching the deadline that like I can't renew them anymore. I'll have to actually physically bring them into the library. I mean, I guess as long as no one has them on hold, I don't have to do that. But at a certain point, I mean, maybe I should just like bring them back for good and give up on reading the series, at least for now. Maybe I'll like the anime better, although one of the teens at Anime Club mentioned that the anime does not follow the manga very well. I'm not sure. A lot of people like this series, and I tend to like popular stuff, at least when it comes to anime and manga. I don't know. I'm like quick approaching on my 2 hour mark, but we're almost done. Just got like an inch more to go. Which, this sewing strategy is like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. We're making progress, but like kind of slow progress. But we're really just so close. And I did get tripped up on that seam for kind of a long time. My favorite anime is Chihaya Furu, which I heard Prosy D say was his favorite anime. And he seems like the kind of guy who knows a lot about anime. That usually wouldn't be like enough to like. Okay, well, first I need to tell a little story about my history with anime. There was an anime club in my high school, and a lot of the people in it were like people who were like in my sort of sphere, And I'm like, oh, I haven't really watched anime, but maybe it would be a good idea if I did, because a lot of these people who are kind of like me seem to really like it. But they were very sort of gatekeepy and like exclusive, and made it clear they didn't really want to be around me. And it just really sort of soured me on anime for like years and years. It's like, I guess I'll never watch it because these people suck. But then I was like, you know what? Maybe it's time. All of my internet friends love anime, and all my current friends seem to like it too. And they're not jerks. So maybe I should watch something. I think the first one that I watched was actually My Hero Academia, I think, which I liked, and it was good. But then I was like, and then I realized, okay, yeah, I can like anime. So I was like trying to figure out what to watch next, but I was kind of overwhelmed. And then ProZD had a thing that was just like answering questions, and one of them was like, what his favorite anime was. He said Shiharafuru. I was usually that wouldn't have been enough to get me to watch it, but then he described it and he said stuff about like poetry and stuff, and I was like, oh, I really like poetry, and it sounded really interesting. So I watched it, and oh my gosh, it was like, it's so good. I've seen it like 3 times now because I showed it to my roommates, um, and watched the whole thing with them. And then I also showed it to my mom, and we've watched the whole first season and some of the second season. Okay, I think once I tie the knot after this, that this is done. I just get a little knot going. One and come on. Get under the loop. There we go. And 2. We trim the excess. And there we go. We have a chicken. Just sit it down a little bit. Is there like rice on here? Okay. It's a good chicken. Do they feel about the same weight? I think so. I think this one has a bit more rice in it than this one. But that's okay. They're both nice and weighty. They're cute. I've got to like tilt them up to the camera. There we go. Mwah. Mwah. Sorry, chickens kissing. Whoa. Crazy. I'm gonna end the stream there. It is exactly the 2-hour mark, which is great. Now I know it takes about 2 hours, maybe a little less, because I had to fix the first chicken, and I also had the the stream running screen for a little bit. But yeah, it takes about 2 hours to make one of these little chicken guys. My voice is really sore and I don't have any water nearby, so I'm gonna end here. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.